I like to aim for around 5-minute reviews. However, this is going to be a longer video because I just have so much I want to talk about in this particular video. So, if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, I'll include a link to a transcript in the description below. Thank you and enjoy the video. As you can gather from my previous pieces, I have a bit of a hard-on for art, especially art in video games. I love the art style of Gone Home, Dear Esther, and Life is Strange. Well, I think I just found the game that'll be topping my list for quite a while. Homesick, on the outside, looks like a take on Gone Home, with the gameplay style and immense encouragement to take your time looking around, but on the inside it's far more. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Allow me to provide a little background. The game begins with a single piece of paper floating through a stunning whitewash of sunlight shining into the room, then onto the floor nearby. We yawn, stand up, and it seems we've been asleep for ages. All the walls are chipping and bleached by sunlight. Our first instinct is to look at and pick up the piece of paper. This is the first step in your journey. We're now able to move freely, looking at everything to enter any room given it's open. It's very simple, but this is how Homesick encourages our progression. On this piece of paper is a crude drawing of a child, or perhaps a really short person, next to a bunch of colorful flowers. On the first look, you may think the game is just black and white, but the green grass emerging from your floor and the colors on the drawing tell us otherwise. You see, everything is just bleached by the sun. It seems the sun in this world is far too overbearing. Its strength has completely compromised this building's structural and visual integrity. As you approach windows in certain areas, this becomes more apparent as the sunlight completely engulfs your eyesight and pushes you away. So, anyways, on to the rest of the video. Homesick is a puzzly, explory, gamey type thing set in an apocalyptic world where you're tasked with exploring this bleak, sun-bleached, and kinda creepy building. Homesick has a huge emphasis on exploration with some slight horror undertones. It's very simple. There are 6 areas in the game. Each is a puzzle that upon completion unlocks the next. You have to fill up a bucket that stays in your inventory once you collect it early on with water to water the plants in each zone before moving on. The puzzles are relatively simple, though some mechanics may take a little while with trial and error to figure out. To move on to the next area, since the hallways are flooded with the overpowering sunlight mentioned before, you have to sleep. There are these nightmare sequences that allow you to move through previously locked areas. However, as you move, you're being chased by this seemingly angry, oily, demony substance that will engulf you if you stand still long enough, causing you to wake up and start over. It truly is an interesting concept. However, there are no voices or clear indication of what's actually going on. Instead, there are a series of letters and documents written in this nonsensical encoded fonts that you later get to decipher and, upon completing the game and reloading, get to read. The underlying narrative only becomes apparent to those who choose to find it. At least I think so. I played this game like crazy and I'm still not 110% sure there even is an official underlying narrative. It really does have a huge replay value. The music score is ridiculous. Ominous piano music accompanied by cello really pieces it all together. It's so simple like the rest of the game's concept, yet so effective in delivering its message. The dark, ominous sounding music really adds to the whole horror undertones thing from before and really helps build suspense. The game was so well scored, I actually questioned how I scored other games' musical scores, although I realized I kinda scored that fairly, so there we go. As for the visuals, words cannot describe how much I love the art style in this game. The deep monotone, contrasting, and touch of color, paired with the powerful lighting, made this one of my favorite games from a visual standpoint. I haven't much more to say than it's just a visually stunning game. In my opinion, one of the most beautifully designed games I've reviewed on Steam first. As much as I'd love to give this game a perfect score, for all the things I mentioned above, unfortunately that's not how it works. One of my few gripes with this game is the puzzles. I understand it wouldn't be much of a game without some sort of gameplay, though the puzzles aren't insanely difficult. It even gets a little repetitive sometimes, not just because the process is find water, water plants, take a nap, go through nightmare sequence, break down door, get into new area, wake up, rinse, repeat, but the building itself can only provide so many different ways to do this. Though credit should be given where it's due, the gym level and the final level at the entrance was kind of neat. I did actually quite like that. It was a bit challenging with like the statue heads and the fountain to raise the water and physics. It was neat. They're mostly practical puzzles though, which aren't necessarily always fun or inventive, though they did seem to work. I'd much rather prefer to see it unravel a bit more naturally though, instead of to a set of instructions, you know? The other issue I had was the walking speed. You're able to adjust your looking around speed, but walking is absurdly slow. It became a bit fatiguing moving back and forth trying to figure stuff out when your character moves so slow. What I got from it was more of a walking simulator vibe rather than a beautifully made exploration / puzzly game masterpiece. I really do hate to be too critical despite it being, you know, my main job as a reviewer, but sometimes, especially in this case, a game is so close to being on the verge of perfection, yet there's one or two tiny little details that prevent it from crossing the threshold into pure perfection. In closing though, I love this game despite my gripes. From the musical score to the visuals, it's great, clunky puzzles and all. It has a huge replay value, which is one of my main interest points. You just have to see what happened to this place, to the character you control, and everything else. The whole thing is surrounded in mystery and confusion. It's visually stunning, yet nothing too impressive as far as gameplay goes. Though the delivery wasn't as perfect as I'd originally hoped, I can still say this tops my list of exploration-driven games. Everything from the mystery to the spooky undertones to the stunning sounds and visuals are sure to pique anyone's interests. So with that said, my name is Anthony from SteamFirst.com. Be sure to check out SteamFirst.com for the latest reviews and content on things involved in Steam. I gotta say that more slowly in the future. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out all of our other stuff in the description, our weekly live streams, our t-shirt store, and our other content on the site. Thank you guys once more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.